There we go.
Bam!
And
Go.
sound effects included. Spawning in the bottom left hand. Oh god, worker pole. That was a little awkward. Let me start over. Welcome to Top Dog Season 3 now. And this will be Week 7. But now we are in a different series. So we have Crossfire Gaming. And oh god, is the game speed actually wrong? I can't. I think it's good.
I think it looks okay.
Yeah, I think so.
It's fine. Yeah. No, this is standard.
Oh man, they are screwing up my opening so bad. All right, rewind one more time. Here we go.
Yeah, if you look at the time, don't look at the probes. Just look at
Yeah, it goes fast.
Yeah, the time goes fast.
All right. Anyway, so we're a minute into the game, and I've been staring at the Zerg and haven't introduced him. So, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altar Team Stronghold, we have Crossfire Gaming's Vies.
And in the top left-hand corner, representing Imperative Gaming under the tag IGX, it's the Teal Protoss player, AeiS.
AeiS? Really?
AeiS.
I thought it was going to be like either some combination of like Fonzie, like AeiS. Is. Maybe, but there wasn't enough E's.
No, I'm like
A's.
99% sure it's AeiS.
I'm not even mad. Just impressed.
But okay, you want to just put Anchorman on the stream, or are we gonna?
That is another. I didn't even. All right, no more Anchorman references.
All right, so Vies. I want to point out what Vies is doing here because it's a trend that we've seen a lot of Zerg players actually kind of start to do on this map. Is take the third on all three team as your natural. So what it basically, it seems kind of wonky if you first see it. It's like, why wouldn't you take your natural? It's so nicely tucked back here, and he's actually going to take both. He's going 3 hatch before pool. So on the big map, why not? He's being scouted last here too, so not a huge chance AeiS is going to be able to do too much about this, as he's just kind of, well, he does have double gas, so he could possibly if he scouts it soon enough. But either way, this third base out in front basically is actually safer in a lot of ways. It allows you to take your third very safely, which is something that shouldn't be underestimated from a Zerg perspective, and having this hatchery finish earlier gets your creep spread out faster. It allows you to put some spine crawlers out there earlier. It's not like a point of contention, and against Protoss specifically, this ramp from your main can actually work against you a lot of the time, in that, it's one force field and you're locked out of your main base, right? So or into your main base, or whatever it is. So keeping your army down on the ramp, or below the ramp with that base as your natural, is just kind of a really nice way to circumvent it and to just get it finished earlier. So, I think it's cool. I really actually like it as a decision that Zergs have started to kind of innovate into their play. And AeiS behind this seems to have, started relatively standardly, but this probe on the bottom half of the map is making me a little nervous with this 200 gas that he's accumulated.
I was just gonna kind of bring this up. So one thing that I actually did pay attention to in GSL was parting came through basically. Was it parting? Now that's not
There's
right.
the Twilight Council, by the way.
Yeah. Basically what happened, it was a Protoss player. Hang on, I will find it for sure. It wasn't Solar.
Zest, Sue,
yeah.
Or not Sue's a Zerg, but Zest.
I believe that's
Classic.
It was. No, I think it was Zest. Anyway, basically what happened is he scouted his opponent, went 3 hatch before pool, and he just did something that kind of was a little bit, you could define as like meta breaking. Basically, he did almost a little bit of an inefficient build. Basically, he kind of started normal, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere, and that's not what's happening here, so it's not nearly as relevant, but he just kind of built a bunch of gateways out of nowhere and went in almost blind, and it was just so unexpected and so outside the meta that like a weird, awkward, super fast 2-base all in, because he started the same gateway opener and got warp gate up very, very quickly. So I thought I was going to get excited because sometimes that can happen, but unfortunately no. It looks like we're sticking with a super early Dark Shrine, which I wouldn't exactly call normal at all.
Yeah, but I think AeiS is actually in a really good spot with this, because there really is nothing here for Vies to spot this. He took a really kind of awkward, non-committal Overlord path here. He's trying to get into the slings. They're not going to see anything because the Stalker's blocking the ramp. And so, like, all he's seen is the gateway, the Cybercore, and the fact that there is a natural going down tucked in the back on the map. And, I mean, he is getting Spore Crawlers. I think this is just more out of fear of oracles than anything else.
Absolutely.
But it'll obviously come to, fruition for him here and pay dividends just because of what is coming and the detection it provides. But a spine crawler or two would be nice. It's not, this isn't going to be anything that should do a ton of damage, as the probe is going to put down the pylon. And the roach comes down as well here.
Right underneath an Overlord. Like, I was showing it on stream. He was, like, perfectly positioned between those two Overlords, and then he ran literally under the Overlord and put a pylon down. But it doesn't look like Vies saw it, because he put down another one, and it's pretty much uncontested. It was just
now this probe
odd.
This probe is hiding on the opposite end of the map now. Again, kind of just out of range of an Overlord. And, well, the Ling's going to sneak in, but it's not going to get past that pylon. He's going to see these gateways, though. So he sees three gateways in a Templar Archives, and that actually might give him the wrong information here, as there are two DTs that are coming into one into the natural, one into the main, and the third as well. So, is this Queen going to go down? These drones are paying for the life of the Queen with their lives, it seems. And lots of drones are falling here. Already 11 workers killed with this little harassment.
Yeah.
Vies is just pumping out more, so.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of pushed him to different areas, and I don't know if it was super effective. I mean, there's 13 on the way. I think he made the right transition right into some High Templar and decides to go for Storm, which against roaches is not exactly what you want, but hopefully he switches up into a little bit of a composition that will be a little more conducive to Storm usage, adding on a ton of gateways. So we'll see what he's got planned here. I'm starting to worry a little bit about him taking a third, just because this is the point where Zerg's going to start to get a lot more army, and if he can get speed and this creep spread, he can start pressuring that third a lot more. I mean, it's tough.
This is an interesting spot here, because the composition that AeiS seems to be going for, which is kind of like Templar, Charge Lot, maybe Archon, really benefits from armor upgrades, and he's got no forges.
Right.
So, this isn't going to have necessarily the punch that you might expect it to, and this little roach, contingent heading out on the map for Vies is going to see no third base yet. He's going to feel, I think both happy and apprehensive about that, because the way this map is structured as a Protoss player, you can pretty much turtle on two bases till you're maxed if you really want to. I mean, there's no way you can really break ramp against a Protoss player. So, but there are a lot of roaches that seem pretty motivated to try. The High Templar are obviously now scouted. The Hydra Den is on the way as well, and pretty good Storm there. Gets a lot of the roaches, trying to split his roaches here. The Templar walking up. Two Templar get taken down before a Storm goes down. A third Templar does fall, and this could be the window here for Vies. Charge lots do come in. The Time Warp goes down, and while these Templar are literally just walking across, and these roaches are eating everything alive here, he just didn't get the Storms off he needed to, Danny, it seems, and suddenly Vies has broken that position that seemed so difficult to break.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, you led into it perfectly. It was kind of one of those things like, he took down the sentry before he could even force field, which is so rough. It's kind of those, like, how's he supposed to defend? Because he's all these roaches, but if he burns storms, he literally has nothing. I was talking about how it wouldn't be easy for him to take a third base at the moment, but, I mean, as you said, those High Templar kind of walked out. He didn't get great storms. I mean, against roaches, they can eat an entire storm if they really want to, and now we might just be seeing the beginning of the end.
But this is kind of what we talked about previously, by the way. What reason was there for AeiS to go down his ramp?
I would love to give you one, but
he ended up getting caught at the bottom of his ramp, and he ended up, paying for it with two High Templar before he could even get a storm off. He ended up paying for it with, just using up the storms and not having that high ground advantage. Whereas if he stays on the top of the ramp, the roaches have to go up the ramp. They'll clump up on the ramp. One storm gets all of them, maybe two you need, but your Templar are safe. It's just there was no need for him necessarily to push down. Maybe he was afraid of a contain, but I still think that it was a little bit, too much too soon. And now trying to get double forge behind this, Vies is just, again, he's in a commanding position.
Yeah, absolutely. And meanwhile, he did summon a whole bunch of Dark Templar that took out the Zergs at the third base, but as you pointed out, was actually kind of his first expansion. But I mean, that's like a small win. But yeah, we see him trying to take this third base because this double forge, I don't think he can support everything he's got on just 2 base. Double forge, you really need like a nice strong third to really start pumping out because he's already behind an army. And and he just walks right up the ramp, and both the Templar get taken out. He's got Dark Templar here that are gonna really do a lot of work.
Well, here comes the Overseer.
Oh, never mind.
And down they go. It's tough, man. It's a tough spot to be in, and there's the GG and Vies